There's a new phrase making waves in the music industry right now. It's called blue dot fever. That's the term fans and insiders are using to describe a growing trend of major artists canceling or postponing tours while Ticketmaster seating charts remain filled with unsold seats. And you know what those look like when you try and buy tickets, represented by blue dots. Artists like Meghan Trainor, Zayn Malik, Post Malone, the Pussycat Dolls have all recently scrapped or adjusted tours, officially citing reasons like health, I want to spend time with my family, or scheduling issues, but we all know what's really up. It's blue dot fever. Eric Alper is a publicist and music historian, and he joins us on the line. Eric, how you doing?
You.
Great to talk to you here, Eric. So, what's your take on blue dot fever and how pervasive it's becoming?
It's an actually really funny term because I think we've all seen it and we've all kind of felt when we're buying tickets some sort of psychological buzz that we get when all those blue dots start to disappear. It gives you a rush. It's like an auction when you're trying to bid and there's like 3 minutes left and you're just rushing to complete your order. But when you go on Ticketmaster for a concert and you happen to see a lot of blue dots available, you start to think, I think like everybody would, which is, what's wrong with me? Why do I want to go see this show? And, that happens when, I think in any sort of memorabilia, in a bookstore, it happens in all sorts of things that we buy. When something is hot, we all want it. And when something is not, we think about the justifications for not spending money. And look, it's really expensive to go see a major concert. In fact, back in 2020, it was roughly about $112 for a major artist in a major venue. Now it's $196. That's a 75% increase in 6 years. Gas is going up, insurance is going up. We're all spending more money on less, and people are kind of deciding now, maybe I'm not going to go see 10 shows like I did after COVID. Maybe I'm only going to spend my money on one or two. And with the sheer amount of artists that are out there, you're going to have a lot of blue dots right now.
But here's the thing, right? It certainly seems like some artists, they have natural immunity to blue dot fever. So what do you think's happening here, Eric, in this market where for some artists, no problem, no blue dots, all the dots are gone. And other artists, they may think they're going to light the world on fire with their latest tour, and it simply doesn't pan out. What's going on here?
I think that's just the way that the industry operates. Nobody wants to put in artists in a large venue unless everybody, meaning the booking agent and the manager and the record label and the artist themselves, think that they can sell out those shows. It's really hard to figure out what the landscape is going to be a year in advance when you're starting to book these shows, even though that maybe the on sale date is 8 months from now. You're kind of guessing and predicting what people are going to do and basing the prices of your tickets on that. And again, I kind of have to say it, and you mentioned it, no artist will ever admit that they have canceled their shows based on low ticket sales. It's always some other reason. And that's happened for the last 6 decades. And also keep in mind that so far, Live Nation and Ticketmaster have canceled shows just as much as in the past years. So it's not like that it's happening a lot more. We're just kind of feeling it because all of these major artists are canceling in the first 5 months of the year, which is a little bit bizarre. But it's a real situation where, the music industry is trying to figure out how much money people are willing to spend on these shows. Everybody is out on tour right now. It feels like 25 major tours are happening right now. And that's a celebration of live music, but it's also a traffic jam, and people have to decide what they're going to spend their money on.
Let me just say this, on the whole excuses that come out, right? And it's funny, right? Oh, I want to spend time with my family. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why'd you announce the tour in the first place if you want to spend time with your family?
Bring your family out on tour. Yeah.
But I'll say this, the Pussycat Dolls, there was one exception to what we've outlined. The Pussycat Dolls last week, in their post, they're like, listen, and I think this is the reason they could be more truthful. They're like, hey, Europe sales are amazing. Asia sales are amazing. North America, not so much. We'll see you at a couple of festivals. So there was more honesty, but I think it was because they could say, hey, we're selling lots of tickets in a couple of other places. So
yeah, and it also depends on the artist too. Like if you're the Pussycat Dolls, and that's amazing to be in that group, but it's also when the more honest you are, the more fuel you give to the people on social media that will make fun of you, that will give them kind of, the gasoline to make the snark go even higher on that. If you're Harry Styles, if you're Bruno Mars, if you're Cardi B, if you're the Eagles in Las Vegas and the Backstreet Boys in Vegas, you're fine. But, with the Pussycat Dolls, it's really tough because, again, like 8 months ago, prices were much different. The cost of doing business is much different. Visas were a little bit easier to get a hold of, trying to bring people from the UK to America. Now it's a little bit more difficult, but the Pussycat Dolls, I think, were probably the most honest of them all, mostly because they're kind of untouchable in the UK, which is where they need to play anyway.
We're with Eric Alper, publicist and music historian. Let's talk about something that comes up on the text line when I talk about this, and the word is greed. Let me read you one story from a listener who says, I was thinking about going to see Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, his new jazz project at the Beanfield Theater here. I never heard of them before, but tickets are $185. Guess I won't be seeing that experiment. Is there a little bit of greed going on here that the prices are just so high?
Yes, but I think rightfully so. Look, I mean this in absolute honesty. Nobody on this planet wants to leave money on the table. Not you, not me, not the person texting. If somebody's offering us the ability to work the same, but with, more money, we're going to take it. Going back to the cost of doing business, all of that has increased, but also the way that musicians are making money, they're definitely not making it on streaming as much as they used to when they were selling hard CDs at $30 each. Merchandise sales are higher, but so are the prices on it. And also an artist like Flea, not specifically about him, but artists are taking a look at those scalping sites like StubHub or SeatGeek, and they're seeing their tickets go for 3 or 4 times higher than those ticket prices. And they're saying, wait a second, why is this person making money off of my hard work and energy and effort, putting nothing into it? So they're going to charge what they believe is going to be the market value for it. What's interesting and worth a look is maybe those ticket prices will drop because, again, people, I think, are just guesstimating on what the level of money that people are willing to spend on it.
Do more artists need to manage their expectations? And I'm thinking about artists that say, okay, we're doing an arena tour. And that's a lot of seats. And I'm thinking about, there are great venues in this city of Montreal. We got great 2,000 seat venues, 2,500 seat venues. Should there be more managing of expectations by artists and not setting themselves up for disappointment 5 months down the road?
I think you're exactly right. I think we're going to see a lot of underplay in the next couple of years. I think since COVID, so many artists wanted to go back on the road again because they haven't in a couple of years. Fans wanted to go see the Bodies live. And so we were spending a lot more money than normal to go see these artists play. This kind of opened up a whole new road for all those independent artists to say, wait a second, my audience likes Flea, but I'm going to charge $10 a ticket and sell out that smaller venue. So there's actually a really good road for those smaller or mid-sized venues to say, we can do big artists, small club. If the artist buys into it, we're going to explode in social media. We're going to get a lot of goodwill out there, and we're not going to charge an arm and a leg to rent that big, massive hockey venue anymore. We're going to go to something like 2,000 or 1,500 seats and sell it out in 3 minutes and make everybody super excited that there's a massive artist in a small club. I think that's where we're going to go. And
sometimes you can charge that premium, right? Speaking of making sure it doesn't go to the resale sites, if you got limited seats, you can charge that premium and let it go to the artist. Eric, I have to leave it there. You're great chatting with. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. We'll talk soon.
Take care. Eric Alper, publicist and music historian.
This May, iHeartRadio celebrates Asian Heritage Month. Discover powerful stories, vibrant cultures, and unforgettable music. From inspiring podcasts to playlists that span East, South, Southeast, and West Asian artists. We're honoring the voices shaping our world. Listen now on the free iHeartRadio app. And at iHeartRadio.ca.